Good morning, everybody. This is Brett Zockman, Zach, founder of Beam In, and we're Facebook Live on Friday again, coming to you from Danny Kalela's studio. Now, we're in preparation. The next couple of months, we're going to be doing this almost every Friday in preparation for June 29th, Saturday, June 29th, when we're going to build and bring to you the 5 pillars of male wellness, talking about your emotional, financial, mental, physical, spiritual health. And we're going to have some incredible speakers from our advisory council from 9 to noon, and we'll be over at the Solomon Center in Northwest Parker. Now, as we've been preparing for that, you've probably noticed that most Fridays I'm coming to you live with another gentleman sitting with me. But today might be our final talk about financial freedom. And I feel so powerful about this one that I just wanted to sit down with you one-on-one. And men, here's what I wanted to do. I really wanted to make this raw and real and have a man-to-man conversation. And it starts with this. It's a question towards me, towards any of us. How are you doing? You know, in life. But how are you doing with your money? Really? And I don't mean that monosyllabic response we all give our buddies at the water cooler, at the gym, or at the office, or maybe you're in the lobby of the church or wherever you might be, you know, where we say, fine, great, fantastic, awesome. And really, deep down inside, it's Thoreau's quote that most men are leading lives of quiet desperation because you don't feel fine and you don't feel great and you don't feel awesome. In fact, maybe you haven't felt that way for quite some time about your pocketbook. So what I wanted to do this morning is, instead of trying to impress you, you know, so many times, guys, we judge books by the cover. We look at other people. Wow, look at that McMansion the Johnsons have. Wow, look at Bob's tricked out SUV. Wow, look at his powerful corporate job. But what we don't really know is what's going on behind the wizard's curtains. And so today, I'd like to make a little confession to you. Because you could look at me today and say, wow, look at Zach. He's the founder of Beam In. Wow, look at Zach. He's an executive vice president now at 5 Ranks Financial. But I want to tell you this, gentlemen. I want to tell you the behind-the-scenes story of how I came to be who I am today and where I came from. And so here's how it started. Back in 2003, yeah, I did go through separation and divorce. And it was crazy, topsy-turvy, but I launched my first company. And I experienced tremendous success. But even way before that, in my 20s, I worked for corporate America. I made money for the man. I worked at awesome places like the Colorado Rockies, the ad agency for Coors Brewing Company. Then I did a .com stint with ebags.com. I thought I'd become one of those multimillionaires in my 30s. It didn't happen. Remember the .boom and then the .doom? So many times in those corporations, I traded later money for now money. And what I mean is, when you work for the Colorado Rockies, they don't pay you very well because they got 1,000 resumes waiting for that job that you may not want. Or I worked for the ad agency for Coors Brewing Company. They paid us to party. It was sweet, but they didn't pay us a lot. And then I thought that through stock options, I would become a multimillionaire. That company never went public. So it was a little bit of a struggle. So I thought I would become an entrepreneur. Now I bootstrapped. We know what this means. It means I took my money to launch these companies. I didn't go to angel investors or venture capital firms. And guess what? It took off like lightning. It was awesome. I was paying myself a good salary. I was stocking money into a SEP IRA for my retirement. I had built up excess surplus of cash 6 to 9 months in my business checking account and my personal checking account, and I felt fantastic. Now here's what you might be thinking. Well, Zach, but money doesn't make you happy. Well, let's start dispelling some of these myths and cliches. In our office, yeah, money doesn't make you happy, but neither does poverty. Has anybody ever suffered from cash flow issues or where you don't feel like you're having enough money? And guess what? You're miserable. So guys, remember this. Zig Ziglar said money is not that important, but it ranks right up there with oxygen on the need to have it list. So we really need to figure out our mindset with our money. So here's what happened for me. I progressed and things looked awesome. But then 2008 hit. It crushed my company. It took apart my clients. Suddenly budgets froze. Suddenly people lost their jobs. Projects got shelved. I didn't have a company. It was on life support. And I started struggling. And I had felt great about myself. I had my dream home in Belmar in downtown Lakewood. Things were going swimmingly. I helped the mayor get elected. Heck, I was on a small business improvement district board. I even started personally, not professionally, but privately, over beers with buddies, calling myself the Prince of Belmar. Are you kidding me? Like Will Smith back in the day, right? Prince of Bel Air. I felt so great. I was on cloud nine until the money stopped flowing. And has that happened to you? And gentlemen, please don't make the mistake that I made. I attached my identity to my wallet. And so in today's terms, locker room terms, how fat is your wallet? Now that is a big, bad mistake. If your identity is attached to your wallet, then you feel tremendous when things are tremendous. But guess how you feel when the money stops flowing? And how many of us have experienced that? You got a pink slip. Was that your fault? Maybe it was a merger acquisition. Maybe you got in a ski wreck or a car accident. Now you can't work the way that you used to. Maybe you went through a divorce like I did. Or maybe the company just folds. Or the market goes south in 2008. That wasn't your mistake. Somebody else made mistakes. See, these are pitfalls we've got to figure out and we've got to learn from. And so I want to tell you what happened to me. I lost everything, according to me. I lost my possessions. I lost my money. I lost my title, my position, my place in the community. So here's how it happened. I had put all my pride and all my ego into my pocketbook. And when the money stopped flowing, it wasn't somebody else's fault. That was my fault. And it wasn't somebody else's failing. That was my failing. And you know what? Now I felt like a nobody. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever been in that pitfall? Now here's what happened. I met Mike Wilk, the CEO and founder of Five Rings Financial, at my grandmother's funeral. You can't make up these stories. And I had lost the girl, I had lost my company, and I had lost all my money and a silent investor's money over the course of 6 weeks. Actually 6 months. And you know what? I found out actually over the course of 30 months I had lost $300,000. Now to some that's not a lot. To me that was all the money in the world. And then Mike said, you know what? You're a great public speaker. Come to work with me and be my apprentice and teach others what to do about their money. Come on, fellas. I thought that was ridiculous. The silliest thing I'd ever heard in my life. Nobody's going to listen to me about money. I'm a failure. Have you ever learned or heard that you fail your way to success? Did you know that Walt Disney declared bankruptcy 7 times? Did you know that Edison failed like 10,000 times before he ever invented the light bulb? Who teaches us this in the classroom? Nobody. We learn in the classroom of life. So learn from others' mistakes. Over the course of the next 20 months, here's what it took for me. I declared personal and business bankruptcy. I short-sold our dream home. I lived in the basement of my parents' home for 30 days with my sons. And I did not tell my former spouse. Because I was just scared to death that if she learned that I was struggling financially, I'd no longer be a father either. Because she'd rip our sons away from me. Now, have you ever felt that despair? Where are we at with the economy in America? We crushing it? It's been great for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but the fourth quarter of last year it dipped again. So, do you have a mindset of scarcity? Are you filled with fear, doubt, anxiety, those lower emotions? Guys, we deal with our money emotionally. You know why we do that? Because we're human beings. It's normal. It's natural. So you've got to know this, have some awareness, but then you got to create some action around it. You've got to figure out how are you going to defend yourself against your own emotions about your money. Because when you're crushing it, you might throw that money left and right and do all sorts of crazy things. Heck, I gave away tens of thousands of dollars per year as the title sponsor for a semi-pro basketball team. It would have been much better to save that money for a rainy day later. Or then there you are and you're not making it, and now you're just steeped with insecurity about it. And you're not thinking about abundance. You know, Danny wins, I win, you win, we all win. We're thinking scarcity. Dang it, I got to get to the money before you do. Because it's not win-win, it's win-lose. So we got to rewire our synapses. So what I want you to know from me telling you this story today is this. You can fail, and you can fail big, and you can feel like you died monetarily, but you can come back. You can rise up out of the ashes. Now let's talk a little bit about how we do that. With money, how does it work in America? You've heard this. It takes money to make money. No, it doesn't. I've studied this for 8 years now. That is not true. That's a cliche. It's a farce. It's a lie. Most wealth in America has been generated with literally no money at all. Small incremental amounts of money over time. You've heard this. No, it takes money to make money. No, it's 2019. It's the Super Size Me society. It takes big money to make big money. That is, again, not true. I have come back. Now, did I come back in 8 months? No. It's taken 8 years. That's a long time. That takes patience. That takes perseverance. That takes discipline. I've lived without credit cards after declaring bankruptcy. My FICO dropped to 540. If you don't know about your FICO score, get yourself educated. If 850 is the best, trust me, 540 is not good, and nobody will loan you anything. My FICO has climbed back to 725. I'm close to being debt-free again. Now that took painful moments, right? Bankruptcy. That took discipline. That took, self-control. But here's what I want to tell you. Mike Wilk, my mentor at Five Rings Financial, is a self-made millionaire. 38 years ago, he was broke at the age of 26. If he can do it, if I can do it, any of us can do it. That's what I want to tell you. And maybe right now as you're listening to this, things are great. They're glorious. You're on the top of Mount Everest as I felt some 10, 12 years ago. Great, fantastic. But don't feed your ego. Don't feed your pride. Right? Be consistent, be disciplined, and know that you're in a time of surplus and don't get silly with your money. Or maybe you're down in that trough and you really feel like you've gone all the way to the bottom. And what I want to do is breathe some hope back into you to say, if it could happen for Mike, he can come back out of the ashes. If it can happen for me and I can come back, then any of us can do this. So remember, don't tie your identity to your wallet. Because at the end of the day, let's think about the long game. And the long game is this. None of us are getting out of here alive, right? So at some point, someday, you will be on your deathbed. And if you read a little bit about that, nobody says, hey, roll in my Tesla. Nobody says, hey, wait, one more time, I want to check my bank accounts. Nobody says, quick, go grab all those awards and plaques and things that I won on the football field or in the corporate boardroom. No, many times, men, at the end of our day, it's really not about monetary capital. It's about social capital. Nobody cares, right, how you're doing. They care how you make them feel. So let's think about this as I leave you here today. I believe that it's your social capital that matters most. And if your social capital is what matters most, it's your relationships. So as we build this community for Be Men, know that you are much bigger than your wallet. You're a man, you matter, today, tomorrow, and for forever. So, make it a great day, and let's go all out. Come on, let's be warriors. Every single one of us, let's be extraordinary.